Ever think about the giants of the animal kingdom? Let's embark on an incredible journey into the world of the Earth's largest creatures. Get ready to meet some extraordinary animals that defy the norm with their sheer size, as we delve into the remarkable traits and special adaptations that distinguish these gigantic beings. Here are 15 abnormally large animals that really exist. Number 15. Giant Pacific Octopus. Did you know the giant Pacific octopus is the biggest of all octopus species? Yeah, they're seriously huge. We're talking up to 600 pounds and an arm span of a whopping 30 feet. Now here's where it gets wild. The octopus can change color and texture in the blink of an eye, not just to hide, but also to communicate. How cool is that? And did we mention they're super smart? We're talking solving puzzles, opening jars, and even escaping from tanks. They can even copy what other animals do and remember individual humans. When it comes to food, giant Pacific octopuses aren't fussy. They're carnivores that eat almost anything they can get their tentacles on, from clams, crabs, and fish to small sharks, seabirds, and even another octopus. And they usually do their hunting at night. To help with their diverse diet, they have a beak made of keratin to kill and chew their food. Plus, they have this tongue-like organ with rows of teeth, called a radula, to help scrape food off shells. If they feel threatened, they can shoot out black ink. This isn't just any ink, though. It contains melanin, like we have in our skin, and a chemical that irritates predators' eyes and noses. Plus, it creates a dark cloud to help the octopus make a sneaky exit. What's really mind-boggling is that these octopuses have 3 hearts and 9 brains. 2 hearts pump blood through the gills, and the third does the rest. Their blood is even blue because of a copper-based protein called hemocyanin. And each of their 8 arms has its own mini-brain to control movement. Believe it or not, the arms can act independently and still react to things even if they get severed. Number 14. Saltwater Crocodile. Guess what's the biggest of all living crocodiles and the largest predator who's found chilling by rivers? You got it. It's the saltwater crocodile, or as science geeks call it, Crocodylus porosus. The average male of this species stretches to about 17 feet long and tips the scales at around 1,000 pounds. But that's just average. Some of these colossal creatures have been known to reach over 20 feet long and weigh more than a ton. Oh, and they aren't shy about going for a dip in the deep end. These guys are excellent swimmers and have been spotted way out at sea. Their jaws are like a vice, snapping shut with a whopping 3,700 per square inch of force, which, just for comparison, is over 10 times the bite force of a lion. Ever heard of Lolong? This guy was the largest crocodile ever officially recorded, measuring a colossal 20 feet 3 inches and weighing an incredible 2,370 pounds. Lolong was captured in the Philippines back in 2011 and sadly passed away in captivity in 2013. These crocs aren't picky eaters. They're opportunistic predators, meaning they'll munch on pretty much anything they can clamp their jaws around, including water buffalo, monkeys, wild boars, and even sharks. Saltwater crocs are known to live a pretty long life, with some reaching up to 70 years in the wild. What's super cool and honestly a bit scary is how they hunt. They're expert ambush predators. They sneak up on their prey while lurking underwater and then leap out suddenly to attack. To add to the drama, they perform what's known as a death roll, where they spin rapidly, tearing off chunks of flesh. Number 13. Great white shark. All right, so let's chat about the boss of the ocean, the great white shark. It's the biggest predatory fish out there. Average great whites? About 15 feet long. But there have been a few real giants clocking in at over 20 feet and a whopping 5,000 pounds. You know the sleek shape of a torpedo? That's how their bodies are built, optimized for speed and power. The tail especially gives them a serious boost, letting them hit speeds of up to 15 miles an hour. They even have the ability to fully jump out of the water. Their color scheme is pretty neat too. Slate gray on top to match the seafloor, and then a bright white belly. That's where they get their name, the great white shark. But you might hear people calling them by other names like white pointer or just great white. Now, when it comes to their teeth, it's something out of a horror flick. Imagine up to 300 sharp, triangular teeth arranged in multiple rows. It's an amazing adaptation for hunting. And that's not all. They've got this incredible sense of smell and the ability to pick up on the tiniest electromagnetic fields animals produce. Now, about their diets. They eat a ton of stuff. Young ones nibble on small crustaceans, rays, and little fish. Once they grow up, though, the menu expands to include seals, dolphins, and even other fish. And they use those scary teeth to tear their prey into pieces before swallowing them whole. They're master hunters using smell, sight, and the ability to sense electromagnetic fields to locate their food. Number 12. Eastern gorilla. The eastern gorilla is not just any old gorilla, it's the biggest living primate around. These fellas are seriously large with their massive heads, broad chests, and long arms, and you won't miss their striking black fur, especially on the adult males who sport this neat silvery saddle on their backs. And just so you know, there are two kinds of eastern gorillas. There's the mountain gorilla that loves hanging out on the volcanic slopes of Rwanda, Uganda, and Congo. Sad to say, there are only about 1,000 of these magnificent creatures left in the wild. Then there's the eastern lowland gorilla, or Grauer's gorilla. They're fond of the forests of the Albertine Rift in eastern Congo. These ones are slightly better off, but still critically endangered with about 6,800 left. These big guys are herbivores, feasting mainly on fruits, leaves, stems, bark, and roots. They spend a good chunk of their day, like 30%, eating, and another 30% traveling around for food. Eastern gorillas are total social butterflies, well, in their own gorilla way. They live in groups, which are called harems, usually led by a silverback. That's the dominant male. This silverback isn't just a pretty face, he protects the group, decides where to eat and relax, and even sorts out arguments among his group members. Another thing that'll blow your mind is their speed. These heavyweights can dash up to 40 kilometers per hour when they feel threatened. Also, guess what? They share about 98% of their DNA with us humans. On top of that, they're super intelligent. They use tools like sticks to extract tasty termites or ants from their nests. Number 11. Giraffes. Let's get the scoop on giraffes, the tallest mammals on our planet. Seriously, these guys have such long legs and necks that it's mind-blowing. Just their legs, standing at about 6 feet, are taller than a lot of us humans. Can you imagine standing next to a fully grown male giraffe? They can reach up to 5.5 meters, which is the height of 3 adult humans stacked on top of each other. But the ladies aren't far behind. They can reach heights of about 4.5 meters. These incredibly tall creatures have something super handy for reaching those yummy leaves and buds in the treetops. Long tongues. We're talking a staggering 53 centimeters. Not just long, but their tongues are prehensile too, meaning they can actually grasp or hold things. Giraffes are herbivores, meaning they have a diet full of tasty plants, especially acacia trees. They munch most of the day and can chow down up to 45 kilograms of leaves and twigs daily. And they don't need to drink much water as they get most of it from their food, needing a drink only every few days. Let's talk about some of the amazing adaptations these guys have developed to survive and thrive in their habitat. Structurally, we've got the long necks and legs, cloven hooves, unique coat patterns, and those ossicones. This gives them the advantage of reaching high-up food, escaping predators, navigating rough terrains, camouflaging, and protecting themselves. Physiologically, giraffes are fascinating. They have a unique cardiovascular system that helps regulate their blood pressure and prevents fainting, efficient digestion to extract nutrients from low-quality plants and reduce water loss, thermoregulation to maintain stable body temperature, and a slow metabolism to survive on less food and water. Behaviorally, giraffes have their own quirks. They live in loose groups called towers and communicate using vocalizations and body language. Males compete for females by necking, and females choose the strongest males. Their sleeping habits are also interesting. They sleep for only a few hours per day, often standing up or resting their heads on a branch. Plus, they groom themselves to keep clean. Number 10. Whale shark. Are you ready to dive into the big blue ocean and explore the largest fish on Earth? Yes, you guessed it. It's the whale shark, also known by its scientific name, Rhincodontypus. This gentle giant, despite being a filter-feeding carpet shark, is more like a whale in size. We're talking lengths of up to 18.8 meters and weighing over 20 tons. They're easily recognizable by their white spots and stripes set against a dark gray body. Think about this. The largest whale shark recorded tipped the scales at over 34 tons. That's the weight of nearly 7 African elephants. They also have the largest mouth in the animal kingdom, a gaping 1.5 meters wide and the thickest skin of any living creature, up to 15 cm thick. You'll find these giants in tropical and warm seas, pretty much everywhere except the Mediterranean. They prefer a water temperature between 21 and 30 degrees Celsius, and they're great travelers, migrating thousands of kilometers across the ocean. They hang out in both coastal and deep oceanic waters, often grouping near high plankton concentrations like coral reefs, estuaries, and other fish-feeding grounds. Their diet? Mostly plankton, including stuff like copepods, krill, fish eggs, and larvae. But they also enjoy the occasional small fish, squid, crustaceans, and jellyfish. They eat by opening their huge mouths and swimming forward, filtering water through their gills. It's estimated they can filter up to 6,000 liters of water per hour. Humans and whale sharks generally get along great. They're usually harmless and calm, often letting divers and snorkelers swim alongside or even hitch a ride on their dorsal fin. But be careful with sudden movements or loud noises, because you might get a swat from a tail or a bump from that giant mouth. Number 9. Ostrich. Okay, let's chat about the big bird on the block, the ostrich. An adult male ostrich can stand tall at about 9 feet, and believe it or not, nearly half of that height is just neck. These feathered giants also tip the scales at over 150 kilograms or 330 pounds, with females being just a tad smaller. Ever wonder what an ostrich egg looks like? Well, it's no surprise that the world's largest bird also lays the world's largest egg. Picture this, an egg that's around 6 inches in length and 5 inches in diameter, weighing in at around 3 pounds. Ostriches are flightless birds flaunting long necks and legs, and they're the proud owners of two-toed feet, where the main toe looks almost like a hoof. The males are mostly dressed in black, but flash some white plumage on their wings and tail. The females, they're mostly brown. Their heads, which are surprisingly small, and most of their necks are lightly downed and can be reddish to bluish. Oh, and they have these big, dreamy brown eyes complete with thick black lashes. But don't let their appearance fool you. Ostriches are land speedsters, clocking in at 70 kilometers per hour, making them the fastest birds on land. They've also got a mean kick. If they're cornered by predators like lions or, dare we say, humans, their strong legs can deliver a blow you don't want to be on the receiving end of. So how do these birds protect themselves? They've got a few tricks up their sleeves, or should we say wings. If trouble's brewing, they'll either sprint away at high speed or use their powerful legs to kick. Lying low and stretching their long necks on the ground to blend in with the soil is also a nifty trick. Number 8. Ocean sunfish. The ocean sunfish is a bit of an oddball in the fish world, but it's also one of the largest bony fish out there. Can you imagine a fish that weighs up to 2,205 pounds and measures 10 feet in length? That's the ocean sunfish for you. It's got this really unique look. Imagine a giant, flattened circle with big peepers and a small mouth. And it doesn't have a tail fin. Instead, it has this funky, rounded rudder called a clavus, which it forms by folding its back fin. The ocean sunfish got its name from its love of basking in the sun near the water's surface. This helps it regulate its body temperature and get rid of parasites. Because of this habit, people often mistake it for a shark when they see its dorsal fin above the water. This critter's not picky about its food. It'll eat anything from small fish, fish larvae, squid, to jellyfish and crustaceans. It has these fused teeth that form a kind of beak, which is great for crushing hard shells. Now get this, when it comes to reproduction, the ocean sunfish is off the charts. Females can produce up to 300 million eggs at a time. That's more than any other known vertebrate. The eggs hatch into tiny, adorable larvae that look like mini pufferfish with spines. You can find these big guys in tropical and temperate oceans all over the globe, except in the polar regions. They dive really deep, over 2,000 feet, to search for food or avoid predators. If you ever come across one, you'll find that they're quite curious and often approach divers and boats. They've even been known to jump out of the water to get a better view. Number 7. Kodiak Bear. Now let us tell you about this fascinating creature, the Kodiak Bear. You might be familiar with the brown bear, right? Well, the Kodiak Bear is actually one of the largest subspecies of brown bears. It shares the title of largest bear alive today with its chilly cousin, the polar bear. Just to give you an idea, these giants can weigh as much as 1,600 pounds and stand 10 feet tall. Their skulls alone are a feat. They can be about 16 inches long and 10 inches wide. They sport a thick fur coat that ranges in shades from blonde to dark brown. You see, they've got this huge muscular hump on their shoulders, which helps them with digging and running. And their claws? They're pretty much natural daggers, reaching up to 6 inches in length, but that's not all. Their jaws are unbelievably powerful. They can easily crush bones and shells. These bears are exclusive to Kodiak Island and neighboring islands off the coast of Alaska. They prefer to hang out in a variety of scenic spots: coastal meadows, alpine tundra, forests, and wetlands. People sometimes get them confused with grizzly bears because they kind of look alike, but they're actually genetically distinct. In fact, the Kodiak bear has been reproductively isolated from other bears for about 1,200 years, giving it very limited genetic diversity within its population. And talking about hibernation, Kodiak bears hibernate during the winter in dens they either find or dig. They enter a state of reduced metabolism and don't eat, drink, urinate, or defecate. They rely on stored fat reserves and can lose up to 40% of their body weight during this period. Isn't that amazing? Even during their deep winter sleep, they may briefly wake up if disturbed. They may also leave their den for short periods to stretch or groom themselves. Number 6. African bush elephant. The African bush elephant isn't just any elephant, it's the biggest land animal alive today. Picture a male elephant that's 13 feet tall at the shoulder and weighs as much as 11.5 tons. Now, their trunk, that's something special. Imagine a flexible appendage up to 8 feet long with 2 finger-like projections at the end that can grab stuff. Not to mention their tusks. These bad boys can grow up to 10 feet long, weigh 200 pounds each, and are handy for all sorts of things like digging, fighting, and even marking territory. Their ears, giant! Up to 6 feet long and 4 feet wide, they're not just for hearing. Elephants flap them to create a breeze and expose the blood vessels to cool down. Plus, they use their ears to communicate over long distances with low-frequency sounds that our puny human ears can't hear. When it comes to food, these guys are all about plant life. We're talking grass, plants, fruits, twigs, roots, and bark. They can put away up to 375 pounds of food and guzzle 50 gallons of water each day. Not just that, they also snack on soil or visit mineral-rich water sources for a salty treat. And their reproductive cycle is the longest in the animal kingdom. A female has a menstrual cycle of about 14 to 15 weeks and is pregnant for a whopping 22 months. She gives birth to a single calf, which weighs around 260 pounds and can stand up within an hour. The calf nurses for up to 4 years and stays with mom until it's ready to face the world on its own. Oh, and one last thing, these elephants can recognize themselves in a mirror. A true sign of self-awareness and intelligence. Cool, right? Now, it's time for today's subscriber pick. One of our subscribers has sent us this image and it has given us the creeps. They were on their way back from an unforgettable trip with their family in Africa when they came across a crowd gathering on the side. They were in a hurry and couldn't stay to inquire, but quickly snapped a picture of the spectacle. What is this giant snake-like creature? Have you ever seen such a huge snake? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Number 5. Blue whale. Picture this, a creature so enormous that its heart is the size of a car and you could literally swim through its blood vessels. Sounds like something from a movie, right? But this is no fiction. Meet the blue whale, the largest animal to have ever existed on Earth. This massive beast can grow up to 100 feet long and weigh a whopping 200 tons. Just its tongue can weigh as much as an entire elephant. But even though they're massive, their diet is made up of tiny shrimp-like critters called krill. They can guzzle down up to 4 tons of these little guys in a single day. Their dining method is pretty unique too. Blue whales are part of a group called baleen whales. They have these special plates, kind of like fingernails, attached to their upper jaws that they use to filter their food from the water. Imagine taking a big gulp of water, pushing it through your teeth and catching your dinner in the process. You can find these majestic mammals in pretty much all the oceans on our planet, except for the Arctic. They usually prefer their own company or hang out in small groups, but where there's a buffet of krill, you might spot a crowd of up to 60 whales. Blue whales can live a pretty long life, up to 80 to 90 years. They're ready to start families of their own when they're around 10 and generally have a new calf every 2 to 3 years. Number 4, southern elephant seal. The southern elephant seal is massive. The males, especially, are absolute behemoths. In fact, they can be 40% heavier than their northern elephant seal counterparts, twice as heavy as a male walrus, and a whopping 6 to 7 times heavier than the largest land-based carnivore, the polar bear or Kodiak bear. The females are not lightweight either. They weigh around 350 to 900 kilograms and measure 2.6 to 3 meters long. But hold on, the males take the crown. They can range from 1,500 to 3,700 kilograms and grow to a staggering 4.2 to 5.8 meters in length. Imagine encountering one of those. The biggest recorded male was a whopping 6.85 meters long and estimated to weigh a mind-blowing 5,000 kilograms. Now, let's talk fashion. The skin of southern elephant seals starts off dark gray at birth but turns brown as they age. The males get a bit fancier with a thick mane of fur around their necks and shoulders when they mature, while the females sport a smoother coat without a mane. And just like a fashion-forward model, they both molt annually, shedding their old fur and skin in patches. Oh, and these seals aren't just big, they're smart too. They're among the few mammals that can use echolocation to navigate and find prey in the pitch-black depths of the ocean. They make clicking sounds that bounce off objects and return to their ears. Last but not least, these seals are top-notch hunters. They're incredibly efficient, catching up to 90% of the prey they pursue, compared to a mere 20% success rate for killer whales. Number 3, Japanese spider crab. Now let us introduce you to the amazing Japanese spider crab. Imagine a crab with the largest leg span of any arthropod. We're talking about a whopping 3.7 meters from claw to claw. That's like having a crab with limbs stretching across an entire room. Not only are they big in leg span, but their bodies can grow up to 40 centimeters in carapace width. And get this, they can weigh up to a hefty 19 kilograms. That's one heavy-duty crab. Plus, they've got a total of 10 legs, with the front 2 specially modified into powerful claws. They mean business. In terms of where they hang out, these crabs love the Pacific side of Japan, all the way down to Taiwan. They're not surface dwellers, though. You'll find them chilling at depths ranging from 164 feet to a mind-blowing 1,640 feet. When it comes to their habitat preferences, they like to settle down along the continental slope, where they can find cozy shelter in rocky crevices or burrows. It's their version of a luxurious crab hideout. These crabs are mostly night owls, getting busy and active during the dark hours. They've got quite the diverse palate, feasting on a variety of creatures and plants. From mollusks and algae to worms and even carcasses, they're not picky eaters. And get this, they can live up to a jaw-dropping 100 years. That's right, they've got some serious longevity. Now here's a fun fact. These crabs are considered a delicacy in Japan. People go crazy for them. But unfortunately, they're also facing some threats like habitat loss, pollution, and overfishing. That's why conservation efforts are in place to protect these incredible creatures and ensure their population thrives. Number 2, hippopotamus. When it comes to size, hippopotamus or hippos are no joke. They rank as the 3rd largest land mammals, just after elephants and white rhinos, reaching up to 10.8 to 16.5 feet. The males weigh between 3,300 to 9,900 pounds, whereas the females range from 2,900 to 6,600 pounds. They have these barrel-shaped torsos that give them a unique appearance. They also sport wide-opening mouths with some seriously impressive canine tusks. Their bodies are nearly hairless, which adds to their charm, and those pillar-like legs help them navigate their watery homes. And their skin? It's this grayish-brown color and secretes a reddish-pink fluid that acts as a natural sunscreen and antibiotic. Hippos are herbivores, meaning they enjoy a plant-based diet. They chomp down on grasses, and boy, can they eat. They can devour up to a whopping 80 pounds of vegetation in a single day. Also, hippos are known to be some of the most dangerous animals on the planet. With their aggressive and unpredictable nature, they can reach speeds of up to 19 miles per hour on land. And don't even get us started on their water antics. They can easily flip over boats. In fact, they're responsible for more human deaths in Africa than any other animal, except for pesky mosquitoes. Did you know that hippos can't swim or float? Instead, they walk or bounce along the bottom of the water, and get this. They can even sleep underwater by rising up to breathe every few minutes without fully waking up. Oh, and one more thing. They're territorial creatures. They mark their boundaries by spreading their dung with their tails. And if that's not enough, they'll yawn widely to show off their impressive teeth and intimidate rivals or predators. Trust us, you wouldn't want to mess with those powerful jaws. They can bite with a force of 1,800 pounds per square inch. Number 1. Colossal Squid. Now, brace yourself for the incredible world of the colossal squid, also known as the Antarctic squid. This magnificent creature takes the title of being the largest squid species in terms of mass and the heaviest living invertebrate. The colossal squid can reach lengths of up to 10 to 14 meters and weigh a whopping 495 kilograms. One of the most fascinating features of the colossal squid is its eyes. They hold the record for being the largest eyes of any known creature, with a diameter estimated at 30 to 40 centimeters. Now let's dive into its anatomy. This squid has 8 arms and 2 tentacles, each armed with rows of hooks. Some of these hooks can even swivel, while others have 3 points. Talk about a deadly arsenal. Their beak is no joke either. It's made of chitin and can slice through flesh and bone with ease. These squids mean business when it comes to hunting their prey. Their beak has a lower rostral length of about 40 to 49 millimeters, just to give you an idea of its power. Now let's talk habitat. These incredible creatures call the deep waters of the Southern Ocean, around Antarctica, their home. They can be found at depths ranging from 500 to 2,200 meters, where the water temperature hovers around a chilling -2 degrees Celsius. As for their behavior, the colossal squid is an ambush predator that uses bioluminescence to attract its prey. It has special light-producing organs called photophores on its eyes, arms, tentacles, and mantle, which emit flashes of mesmerizing blue-green light. When it's time to eat, these squids have quite an appetite. They feast on fish, crustaceans, and even other squids, including their smaller counterparts. Which of these animals can't get enough of? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.